Been a real roller coaster of a week in crypto land. Who knows where the wild price ride will end? One thing's for sure, the Big Dipper's not for anyone with a weak stomach. Hello and welcome to the show. What a week it's been. Like a red carpet full of well-oiled influencers in 9-inch heels, the crypto markets have been tumbling. And of course, as you know, on this show, we are all about the dough. And to be precise, that's Canada's John Doe. Welcome back, John. How was your trip to Cuba, mate?
Cuba was nice, it was a nice little break. When I was there, it was a funny thing myself. I didn't bring a lot of cash with me because I figured I could use my credit card like how I can here. But it looks like no, that's not the case there. They don't have a lot of adoption for electronic money. So it's weird because crypto's kind of trying to solve that solution by banking people who are unbanked. Because I did notice everyone has cell phones, but no one has like a bank, credit card, things like that. So there's no bank machines. So cash is king in Cuba right now. So I guess you can kind of look at cash as the crypto there. It's decentralized. Everyone, you can move cash around, use it. But yeah, there's no connection really with cash and digital money in Cuba right now. So that's one thing that is on the downside.
Well, good to have you back on the show this week. And joining us from near Venice is our crypto god, running in the Italian job, quant trader and CEO of Diaman Partners. It's Daniele Bernardi. Daniele, welcome to the show.
Hi, Tom. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you. And seeing as you've got a crypto fund, you've also written a book, The Genesis of Crypto Assets, and I believe worked in mobile payments. I'm guessing you were into crypto fairly early.
Yes, unluckily I discovered Bitcoin in 2013, but I don't invest. I didn't invest in Bitcoin in that period because I was focused totally to mobile payment business application, and I skip the opportunity there.
Very good. Well, welcome to the show, and I'm sure we're going to have some interesting conversations as we run through this week's topics. Now, to start with, as always, we are going to throw to the big headlines of the week. Okay, well, it has been a bumpy start to 2022. I think we can say that. The markets took a hit, crypto took a hit, and there's quite a bit of uncertainty out there with the likes of a potential war involving Ukraine, interest rates, tapering, and many more aspects. My question to you both, maybe Daniele, start with you, is do you think we're entering a crypto bear market?
Luckily, yes, in this moment we are in a bear market because it's more than 1 month that the crypto are dropping. But the good news from my point of view is that at the end of last year, there weren't the bubble in crypto markets. And from my point of view, it's very good news because it means that the market are growing and became an adult, no more children, a child that is very crazy, full of energy, but also with a full of dump and crash,
Yeah. So the market's maturing, and I guess as we'll see later, some of the speculators being shaken out. John, what are you thinking at the moment?
I'm gonna have to agree about the bear market thing because if you look at the chart, it's November 10th, I think, was the top where we reached all-time highs, and since then we've been trending downwards, breaking support levels, and just looking for resistance to flip into support. So it's been almost 3 months now or so that Bitcoin's been trending downwards. So until we break a major resistance level, that's when we'll finally have everybody bullish again, maybe. But yeah, it's been bearish for quite a bit now.
Okay, more on that incredible crypto slide later in the show. In other news, Mark Zuckerberg's in trouble. Meta, obviously formerly known as Facebook, is considering selling off its Diem assets, the name for the currency project that they were building. This may be due to regulatory pressure mounting on Meta. What do you think of the Diem news, John?
Yeah, I think it's definitely has to do with regulation and trying to dominate in that market, because right now, yeah, it's so early in the metaverse space, and we never know. It could even, I always think sometimes there's always someone else working on something that's going to be what the main thing is.
Now, the market may be going down all around us, but the NFT craze continues. Paris Hilton was on Jimmy Fallon's show in a rather cringeworthy interview. The pair of them showed off their Bored Apes before Paris announced a kind of first in an NFT giveaway.
Dude, look at us.
They look like they could be friends.
They're buddies. But this is, you have a new NFT, you have one being released soon. We have it here. What can you tell us about this?
Well, it's an NFT series that I'm doing with Super Plastic and releasing on Origin Protocol. And then I made another piece by hand. It took me 6 months, and it's a collage of all of my memories with Carter, and it's called my Forever Fairy Tale.
Wow, and here's the actual collage.
Yes.
This is big. I think people are gonna love this.
Well, if you love it so much, I actually am going to give you the first one.
I would be honored.
And I want to give one to everyone in the audience.
Everyone gets an NFT?
Yes, everyone.
Everyone gets an NFT too. Paris? Come on. I think that's the first NFT.
Wow. Now, Twitter was pretty savage with their views on that interview. This first one from Mega Them. This clip was scientifically engineered to make me want to lie down in traffic. And another one, Godspeed. If anyone can kill NFT culture, it's Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton.
What's the floor price of these? That's what I'm trying to find.
Whatever it is, it's
see
too
what
much.
they're selling for. Yeah.
Okay. Now it's time to brace ourselves for a massive chart attack. Let's have a look at the markets. John, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks for that. In terms of like price action, if I was looking at the weekly chart, and we are hitting a low on the RSI. This is the 5th time now it's been this low since about 2015. So that's one interesting to point out. But one thing I did notice of the RSI and certain indicators the past year or so, they are becoming less reliable. So we did trend in the overbought range with Bitcoin for like 4 months or so last year, and Bitcoin ran up about 350% in the oversold. So even though it's overbought. So right now, even though it is oversold, that doesn't mean we're going to bounce. We could still continue trending oversold for a few months. But one thing to know is when prices are going down, it typically lasts it happens quicker than prices going up. So if we are in a bear market, I would expect for it to be done by April-ish. But when we jump into the chart here in a minute, I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. As I mentioned, for the RSI on the weekly chart, look at this low level it's at right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's only been 5 times since about 2015 when Bitcoin was actively traded that the RSI was down this low. Bitcoin was oversold this low, as well as the MACD. And if you look at price though, it's way higher. So this is a very good sign that we are finding oversold levels up this high at about 40 to 30K. And if you see right now, price did correct down to these June, July lows. That's where we're holding off. We need Bitcoin to hold 30K, and that is indicating where we will find a bottom, and that's where we tested just last week. And if we break that though and make a lower low, then we most likely will continue to see it trending down towards that 20K range. And now within this shorter term momentum here on the daily chart for Bitcoin, It looks like we are getting some sort of bottom reversal right here. We tested the lows twice now. We had a rejection at the highs, but it looks like today things are shifting. We just might continue pushing up to that next resistance, which is about 10% away for Bitcoin. And on the low side, it is about 10%. So right now, we're right in the middle of that range with momentum showing things are oversold. So we could have a bounce right here, right around the corner. And in the shorter term momentum here on today, by the time this video is posted, you can see Bitcoin was headed down, tested these lows, made a new low, and now it's been trending upwards. Made a higher low from this recent correction we had just yesterday, and now it looks like we are heading up this next major resistance at about 38,000. And if that flips into support, we will continue pushing up towards that $40,000 level, which is about 10% away. All right, so there we have it. It's been pretty dramatic the past few weeks, right, Tom?
It has indeed. Thank you, John. But Bitcoin does, of course, have support, and that has come this last week in the form of Cathie Wood, who has continued with her predictions and said that Bitcoin may well hit $1 million per coin by 2030. And of course, it wouldn't be a week without Michael Saylor being in the news. One man who wasn't rocked by the price action. He was on Bloomberg being interviewed by Emily Chang. Let's have a look.
If you're going to invest in Bitcoin, a short time horizon is 4 years, a mid-time horizon is 10 years. The right time horizon is forever. You know, Warren Buffett said, you know, if you wouldn't hold it for 10 years, you shouldn't hold it for 10 minutes.
Saylor has always got a response ready. I think he's got a black book or a copywriter on hand. Daniele, what do you think of that quip? And what are your time horizons in terms of investing in Bitcoin?
Of course, it's not forever, but I agree with Michael that you have to keep in consideration the high volatility of the asset. So the time horizon is between 4 and 10 years, for sure. If we are not able to wait for that, it's better to not invest in this kind of crypto. Anyway, I want to add that Bitcoin actually is the leader, but maybe in 5 years will be no more the leader.
Absolutely. It moves quick. It absolutely does. And the other thing that's been moving quick, John, was a new whale has been accumulating at a fast pace. And I think they've overtaken MicroStrategy in terms of holdings. Did this catch your eye this week? And do you know who it is?
Yeah, I guess it's still anonymous. It says it's a new whale holding more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy. That's pretty impressive. And it's interesting to see how long they've been buying for. So if we look here at this chart, it shows the Bitcoin address actually with the Bitcoin since January 22nd of 2022, they added 328 more, and then also up to 23rd to 25th. So they've also been buying the dip, but this could also just be transfers of on-chain. So it's not really any evidence that they are buying, but it does show the balance going into the wallet. So it had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, one to keep an eye on, and I wonder in the coming weeks if we will find out who that is. Now, what have the Italians ever done for us? Well, apart from banking, newspapers, radio, the Renaissance, pizza, Vespers, Ferrari, and of course, Ride on Time by the late 80s house trio Black Box. And now they're also bringing us this week's Crypto God. Welcome author, engineer, quant trader, and serial entrepreneur, Daniele Bernardi. Daniele, thanks for being on the show. Now, as we've mentioned, you're an author. You were into the mobile payments industry and have patents in that. You are now into crypto, and I believe you're originally an engineer. Just give us a bit of background on how you went from being an engineer and getting into all those things before crypto.
Yes, I worked in Aprilia motorcycle for 7 years, early last millennium. And then I moved to finance, and I created an advisory company that provided quantitative methodologies for investment for institutional clients. And we set it up the investment management firm in Malta in 2017. And also we issue cryptocurrency. And then we decided to launch a crypto hedge fund, a Cayman Island fund, and a Maltese alternative investment fund, just because we understood that the future in finance, but also in many aspects of our lives, will be driven by the revolution of the crypto asset, you know.
For somebody that maybe isn't in that world, what's your approach, given your background, what's your approach to investing in crypto?
Yes, we are quant since the beginning. The Diaman was born in 2002. So we have basically 20 years of experience in quantitative methodologies. That means that we prefer to analyze, understand the dynamic of the market instead than the financial statement of the company, you know, because we believe that the price in the market are including all the information, even the ones that are not available to the market right now. And so if you understand the dynamics, you can take advantage from them, and you can obtain a better result with a lower risk. No? So our goal is to create a product that has a better risk-adjusted performance, you know.
And as you mentioned there, you're looking at price, and you have a belief that price contains a lot of information about a market. But from a quant perspective, what other data sources are you looking at to give you insight in terms of what is going to happen?
Yes, for crypto, we developed a database, internal database with all the information. And we also let the people use most of this database with a software that the name is a free software. The name is Analyzer for crypto.com. So especially the dynamic of the crypto asset are well understandable by mathematics, you know, and statistics.
I know that there's lots of models out there today, and price predictions, and obviously Plan B stock to flow model was got a lot of attention, and maybe now has been invalidated. But just give us a view. What did you invest based on Plan B stock to flow model, and now it has seemingly reached a point where, at least for the time being, it's no longer accurate. What's your view on that compared to what you're looking at right now?
Yes, I presented the Plan B stock to flow to my conference. We held an international conference in Italy. The name is Quant, close to Venice, of course. And in 2020, February 2020, when the Bitcoin price was more or less $9,000 US, I presented to the audience the stock to flow and also other model. Because it is very important, this model, to understand the impact of the scarcity, and was able to describe why with the halving the cut for 50% remuneration, the reward for the miners, the price basically made 10 times and not 1 time more, you know. And so for this, the stock to flow model is a good attempt to understand the dynamics of the Bitcoin price during the time. But of course, is not enough because the stock to flow keep in consideration only the scarcity. this model has to be joined by another model that keep in consideration the demand, you know. And so we develop a rate of adoption model, because I wrote a paper related to that, because the rate of adoption is really important to understand, and not only Bitcoin, but also the other crypto, because when a crypto grow, usually is driven by a growth of the community, you know. And more the community are growing, more the price is pushed to increase.
And is that the same as like the network effect that people talk about? Is that how you see that?
Of course, totally. And I describe with a simple mathematical formula this, and is incredible how predictable is this kind of model based on demand. Because of course, if the asset is not inflationary, or not so much inflationary like a US dollar or a euro, you know, or is stable, the amount of asset available is stable, and the demand is increasing.
From your perspective, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment, but if we zoom out and we take Bitcoin as, you know, a store of value or a cryptocurrency, what's your view over the next sort of 5 to 10 years on what's going to happen?
The Bitcoin is not exactly a cryptocurrency. It's more a store of value, or is more an investment asset like gold. If the Bitcoin will not treat by other amazing cryptocurrency that will take all the space, the Bitcoin has a brilliant future because of its characteristic, and because of in the developing market like UK, like US, Europe, and so on, there is no more than 6% of the people that just invested in Bitcoin and crypto assets. So, of course, if the trend will continue, of course, the price of the Bitcoin will go up. With my model, we suppose that can hit 1 million probably in 2035, more or less, if of course doesn't be substituted by another amazing project that demonstrated that has a greater value, a greater technology inside.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not far off Cathie Wood's projection. And just on that point, are there any other projects that you think could replace Bitcoin that you see at the moment?
Oh, it's a very tricky question, you know. There is amazing project, but is of course is totally different respect to the Bitcoin. For example, I like a lot Algorand, because the technology is very nice, and Solana is a quite good project, and I love not exactly. I love the concept below Luna, Terra Luna.
Thank you very much, Daniele. And I think this week you're going to be very interested in our coin of the week. Thanks, Daniele. And you did mention Terra Luna, so it comes as no surprise that this week our coin of the week is Terra Luna. So to understand Luna, we need a little bit of background about Terra first. Terra is a form of decentralized money, and their aim is to make it easier to spend, to hold, or to invest. Now, Terra has a group of stable coins that are pegged to fiat currencies. So UST is pegged to the dollar, KRT is pegged to the Korean won, and ERT is pegged to the euro. They are not backed by fiat currencies, but they keep their price in sync. This is where Luna comes in, the native token of Terra. Every time Terra is created, Luna is burnt, thus reducing its supply and pushing its value up. And the same is true if there's too much Terra in circulation, and this is what keeps it in line with its fiat currency. So there are a couple of basic things that Luna sets out to do. One, you can stake it and it acts as a governance protocol on the network. Number two, it is used for gas fees. And three, as we've mentioned, it's a volatility absorber for the stable coins on the network. So the long and short of it is, if you believe Terra stable coins are going to increase in use, then Luna will go up in value. Daniele, let's start with you. What have you got to add? We know you're a fan already, but what have you got to add, and what in particular do you like about the Terra ecosystem?
Yes, we invest with the fund in Terra Luna coin, and I like the idea that you can transfer the risk of the stable coin to a crypto asset like Luna, because this means that the demand that we spoke before will push the price of Luna coin, of course, because the Terra USD is stable. So this is a very good concept, and is also very good that you can, through Anchor, put in staking the USD, Terra USD, and have a huge interest rate that I think that is 18% right now. That is impossible to achieve in the real world, you know.
John, what are your thoughts?
Luna, I'm a fan of it. I first discovered it when I was looking into DeFi, and I was trying to find where to stake my stable coin that I had sitting around, and I was looking at different protocols, and then I came across Anchor, and I think at the time it was 20%. I think it was right around when it first launched. So I was like, wow, this is a high, but the TVL was so low back then. So there the risk, I did see it as higher, so I did a lower amount of staking on there. But yeah, it worked fine. The Luna token itself, the way it's pegged with the stable coin and all that, it's interesting that they're the first ones to do that. So I think that's why they're holding their spot up there in the top 10 cryptos.
Thanks a lot, guys. And of course, another coin of the week on our next show. So I just want to say a big thanks to John and Daniele for joining us on the show. We'll be joined next week by a new guest and have John back with his views from Canada. That's all from us for now. Have a good week.